It's Thursday, and you know what that means. In the middle of a brutal stretch of races here at the beginning of the first half of the end of the first half of this season for the IndyCar Series here on the Elite Racing Network. It's the Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series at Dover, Delaware for 248 laps, 400 kilometers on a high-banked 1-mile oval. We're going to have 30 cars in the lineup, 17-second laps, 200-plus miles an hour lap times. I can't even tell you what type of recipe that we're in for, other than it's just going to be hectic, fast, and we're probably going to see some big wrecks tonight. It's the nature of how these cars race here at this track. Joining me, as always, is Luis Gonzalez-Nunez. This is Gary Gatto. And Luis, welcome to Dover, Delaware, where we're expecting the unexpected tonight. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough racing. But let me tell you, this is not IRL. This is not Tony George in charge, and this is not Houston. So we are in the ERN, and I think for sure, it's going to be hard to think about. It's going to be a green flag race. Maybe it's gonna be 3 or 4. I gonna expect them. Maybe I'm gonna put my bet for 5 today for sure. It's gonna be tough because I already see it. The people practice in pit stop, so it's gonna be really difficult. The people have to brake from 200 miles back straight to going on turn 3 and brake the car from 200 to 45 to coming in at 35 miles per hour in pit entry. So
it's so nuts.
It's going to be tough, really tough. And also the exit on the pit road is
goodness. Yeah.
Strong one, and it's the slip, so it's really loose, the car, so you have to be careful. It's more loose than the gateway. It's more loose, World Wide Technology Raceway. It's more loose than that, and it's really tough. So is maybe the yellow flag is gonna be in between that. So in the exit or in the entry, because the entry, when you brake, the car is going up. It's never gonna break the car. So it's gonna be tough for everyone. So good evening. Let's see the Monster Miles 400K today.
And there are the weather conditions, 87 degrees ambient, 118 on the track temperature, light wind and mid-humidity, nothing very fancy there. Watching Hunter Ingrave currently go to 5th on the timings tower. Now, you're asking, why aren't I seeing speeds? Well, we're doing average of 2 laps here for qualifying, and the overlay does not show average. So what we are able to do is show you differences in the fastest times on the racetrack right now. So the fastest time is an 18.079 by Panero. Frankenfeld is next with an 18.096. But look at the intervals here, guys. 008, 022, 033, 037. If you're slower than a hundredth of a second, you're not even in the top 15. That's how tight times are here right now. That's how fast these cars are.
So yeah, it's really tough. I can tell you the top 3 average. So Piñeiro 18.115. Chad is 18.123, and 40 18.138. That's the average time for the top 3 on today.
We'll get into the race, and we will show you more lap times, especially in the early stages of this race, that you'll get to see these cars doing in excess of 200 miles per hour here on this 1-mile high-banked oval. I believe the fastest lap in practice was at 2:06. So that is pretty out there. That is very outrageous how these cars will travel here. But here is the starting grid. Now, we're going to get this in now. We have a big field today, and they're going to do an extra lap before coming to green so we can get all of this stuff in. So here we go with today's starting lineup. Again, I'm not showing you any differentials because the overlay doesn't really show average speeds, but we do have an accurate lineup that we can show you, and we will get into it right here for the starting lineup for the the Monster Mile 400K. On the pole is Pinero, and he is our 4D Pole Winner Award winner. Check out their line of made for sim racing gloves, shoes, and apparel. Visit them today at 4dracewear.com. And, of course, they are the proud sponsor of the Pole Award here for the Elite Racing League. Lining up next to him is Frankenfeld. Next to them is Fody in row 2 and Smith. Ingrave and Schold back on row 3. So Little Eagle in rows 1, 2, and 3. Stanley and Hibbs back on row 4. Wagner and Sora on row 5. We got Norgard and Forsyth back in row 6. Pocock and Hobson row 7. Herrick and Morera, teammates on row 8. Clindy and Hearn back on row 9. Aldrich and Pizarro on row 10. And then we hear the radio call that they are going to take the extra lap. Wood and Keel on 11. Huckleberry and Camargo on row 12. And then the other Huckleberry and Ragon the Sidewinder in the lineup tonight. Everybody look out on row 13. Kidda and Albrecht on row 14. Albrecht might be doing a bit of a start and park tonight, but he wanted to get some experience in. Good on him. Mitchell and Watson back on row 15. And Weeks, Matthew Weeks, the Cup Series champion from a couple seasons ago, will be rounding out the remainder of this field back in row 16.
It is funny because Kyle Klingwaller said, "How my quality is better? Serious, I need to help someone please." And chat for one of the drivers chat said, "Well, literally, everyone watched your video. So, what's supposed to do? We learn from what you show us. So, you supposedly don't do that stuff to help us to do this." So he was 110 slow from Piñeiro.
And these camera angles are not going to be the best camera angles. They are not optimized for IndyCar in any form of the imagination here. And these are not the and just to let you know, Dave Huckleberry, if you listen, I'm not using your cams. I didn't get a chance to really properly vet them, so I'm using another set. But I know I'm not going to be happy with these. I probably would have been happier if I just stuck with yours. But the camera angles are really here optimized for NASCAR, which of course are bigger, slower, and they're a little bit more zoomed in. It's gonna be hectic here. We're gonna be hectic. I also expect my graphics card, even though it's a pretty sturdy graphics card, to get a big workout tonight with the way that we're going so fast around this place. But we're getting ready to come to green this time by. It is Pinero. It is Frankenfeld on the first row. Then we got Hunter Smith and Fody in row 2, Ingrave and Schold on row 3. Here we go, coming the green flag. This should be an adventure. Good luck, gentlemen. Godspeed. Here we go. Green flag at Dover. Cleanly through 2.
That's the first lap.
Wow, yeah.
Really good. Yeah.
And let me give you an idea of those speeds that we're talking about. As they come up, they should be 200 miles per hour this time by. There you go, 200s. The whole field, pretty much. And this is what it looks like from the driver's perspective. You don't really hear them lift very much. Fody down low, taking a peek on Pinero. And the whole bottom side, freight trains Pinero. Pinero now back to 4th.
So it's really interesting to see the lead. Let's think about, we have tons, a lot of yellow flag. How you gonna be survive in the first place? At some point, you have to come into the pit, and the problem is the guy on the 20th or 19 on the back, 15. They already pit in like a long time ago. He was coming in first, and you have to come in back on the grid. So it's really interesting to see that scenario on the leader.
Clindy already up 5 spots, so apparently he saved some secrets for himself. We are 2 by 2 by 2, many rows deep right now. The bottom line is the preferred line. I just don't know how long they can stay down there. Fody is your leader. Frankenfeld second, Hunter third, Schold fourth, Little Eagle partying in second, third, and fourth right now. Hunter Ingrev with Pinero on the outside, but Ingrev in the preferred position down low. Right with him is Ethan Stanley and Presley Sora. Look at the shot. This just tells you how fast they're going here. Let's get the intervals in here. Fody protecting down low down the front stretch.
I think the line close to the wall is still dangerous to me, because if the car on your inside have some contact or maybe touch the apron, definitely 100% is gonna go to your side. It doesn't matter how, but it's gonna go high.
And you run out of room. Low, you run out of room really quick here on the high side, really quick.
Yeah. And if you go low, your tire is gonna be burned and lost the grip and everything. And also, we didn't mention, be careful if you're with all these drivers. Actually, they already know about this problem about engine
temperature. Yeah.
So too close for too long, could be the engine's gonna be blow up.
Too close for too long and too lean of a mixture is kind of the recipe on how to blow your engine up here. It is possible. Watching Gavin Hibbs right now, who led so much at Fontana, just unfortunately was using much more fuel than everyone else at Fontana. The rule set for tonight, this is a 1 mile high banked oval. We're doing 248 laps or 400 kilometers here. No fast repair. Pit road speed limit 35 miles an hour. 35. They're going from 200 plus to 35 miles per hour. They are going to lose multiple laps while on pit road. Oh, car sideways on the backstretch. Not sure who that was. That's Fazaro.
Camargo, the other one. Ryan Huckleberry also. Oh, Huckleberry contact.
Oh, and how I thought almost Camargo drove through that. But again, you see what happens here at Dover. This is a self-cleaning track, so everything to the bottom, and everyone goes high, and for the most part avoids it. But it is a 3-car incident because, again, that is the nature of how these cars race at Dover. That is exactly what happened in real life when they came here, which we will talk about here momentarily.
About Camargo, I racing forgive it one time, but he cannot forgive it for two times. So that the second contact was big net code over there.
And we see the Marlboro car making a way to pit road. Camargo, we see him on pit road as well. Neji will come in and hopefully get some repair done on his Team Watson Racing Dallara. But everyone else is staying out, and that is probably wise because track position is going to be key here today.
You remember on Richmond last year when Piñero went back with, I think so, 2 laps down or 1 lap down to the front, and I think won the race. If it's not won the race, but he won a lot of positions. To be honest, I have to go back.
Yeah, I probably have to go back to Sim Racer Hub and look that up.
Give me 1 second. I have it here.
We don't retain all this information permanently to our memories all the time. But Dan Morera doing a good job. He is in 6th position. He's up 10 spots right now. The biggest gainer is the guy that probably is going to start and park here is Chris Albrecht. Mm-hmm. He's up 16 spots right now. Maybe he might want to rethink that strategy.
That's
reschedule that dinner. But go ahead, Pinero. We are talking about him. He's down 12 spots, but he's back in 13th. We don't know if he's having a hard time or he's just playing a long game with fuel.
So that day in Richmond, he went 2 laps down to stay on the front. He stayed on the front, and then he lost 1 back, and he finished 5th on that day. Kellogg Benzie won the race from 21 to 1st, and that day in Richmond in the chaotic race with only 10 cars around 12 cars, and that day finished the race.
Yeah, it was a bit of a rough race that day for everybody. We are 1 lap away from going green. Today, USAC and IndyCar visited Dover 3 times. Everyone is most familiar with the 2 times in the 90s. The first time was in 1969. That's the forgotten race. Bobby Unser sat on the pole with a speed of 155.259 miles an hour. So there are 50 miles per hour difference, 50-plus miles per hour difference between what Uncle Bobby turned and what we turned this evening. In the race, Bobby's car lasted only 3 laps, and he finished dead last. The winner was Art Pollard, powered by a stock block Plymouth engine. The victory was the only win for Plymouth, while Pollard backed up his win earlier in the season that he had at Milwaukee for the second of 2 career wins. Only 2 cars in the 22-car finished on the lead lap, with Gordon Johncock joining Pollard as the 2 completed the race distance. Here we're getting ready to go green. We'll talk about the 90s races here in a little bit. Green flag in the air. It is Fode, Frankenfeld, Smith, Schuld, and Pocock now up to 5th spot. Stanley and Clindy. We have not looked at the points yet. We will get a chance to look at that. Everything is happening so fast today. It looks like the top 20 is kind of broken away already. Not sure what happened back on the second pack, but they've kind of pulled away from that pack already. It is Ragon leading Watson in that second pack. So the second pack has already fired the Sidewinder out ahead to seek and destroy up front.
I think so. From Piñero, something happened with Piñero. He decided don't push on the restart. It's close. It's weird because from average, it's a different strategy. From Piñero back is second strategy. So he decided to brake, and that's why it's like a little bit up from there.
Well,
from Piñero and average.
Yeah, Pinero is the lead car that pitted at lap 18 under that caution. So he is leading that group of cars. Everyone else from 12th on forward stayed out and have decided to go long and hope for possibly another caution. If they go, we get to the green flag length here, where we stop again, which we're race planners have talked about. They don't think we're going to see green flag pit stops, but I say that, and we had a race on, well, not us on P1, but when we were formerly at the old channel doing the Oval Series back when it was known as the IndyCar Fix Series with iRacing and the iRacing officials, we actually did a fuel mileage race here. We had a race become a fuel mileage race. So it is possible. We had a very early caution in that race, and then the remainder of the race turned into a fuel mileage race. It is possible to happen here. We shall see if that develops. If it does develop, then what's going to happen is that this first group of 12 is going to pit. They're going to go multiple laps down, and then they're going to pray. They got to pray. They got to pray to the racing gods that no cautions come out while they are waiting for the next group to come to pit road.
Yeah, it's always the people, especially when you do different strategy for the lead or whatever strategy you do, it different for the other ones. You have to pray for something, at least for a yellow flag or something.
I do want to say to everybody that showed up tonight to participate, 30 cars at Dover. There's a lot of brave people in the lineup tonight, and I want to salute them all for showing up. This is not easy. Look at this. It's a narrow racetrack. There's not very many places to go. The bottom line is pretty much going to rule them all. They're going to think about 3 wide down the backstretch.
I can say from top 20 on the championship, almost everyone.
Oh, contact! Lindy involved, Herrick involved, and we are under caution as Herrick flips over pit road and onto his lid.
So, Henry hit the wall.
Oh, and down in the Clindy. Oh.
Yeah. You're supposed to see the car going up. No, he's going down.
Now, Clindy doesn't look as damaged. Some of those shots were pretty good. We'll see if he can possibly come to pit road and get repaired.
Oh no!
No, his right rear is not
disappeared.
Yeah, it is not in the correct position.
So good strategy for 40 shot and Schultz. He can stay out. Also, Kel Peacock also can stay out for that.
We got a number of cars coming to pit road this time. Those at pit at lap 18 are coming in right now, are staying out. Excuse me. They're moving ahead. Pinero's now moved up to 6th. A number of cars have stayed out. Fode, Frankenfeld, Schultz, Smith, Pocock, and Albrecht. They have decided to stay out, so they move up a little bit further in the order. We do have some intel on what we kind of expect for pits. It's going to be about 60-ish laps for a full tank. If people work together, they'll be able to get to 62 and make it a 3-stopper. Talking with some of the Little Eagle drivers, their plans are to go as long as possible. And this is very much your thinking, Lewis. Go as long as possible early, because someone is going to mess up pit entry and bring out a yellow. And if you pit early, that's what's going to happen, that you're going to fall behind and fall at a disadvantage. So they are thinking like what you think about coming to pit road early. They don't want to do that today.
Yeah, it's kind of, I think about it in my job. I think about it what kind of strategy they can do it. What kind of strategy? It's a tough. I really talking about the lead. What should we do? I going to myself, or I stay out, or what is it have to do? So it's really tough to think about it, because you can come in green flag. We're thinking about green flag, but like I see, it's no green flag ever. It's 70 laps signs the second yellow. So if it's green flag, you can come in and then you lose 3 laps. And then they come in the yellow flag after 2 laps. You're coming out from your pit stop. So it's really tough.
Yep.
It's really tough to thinking what if I in this condition. I prefer to stay out until the yellow flag close to my tank is over. Maybe 10 laps before my tank is over. That's maybe the best bet. But who knows? Like you said, it's tough, especially on the exit on the pit road.
Well, before we go green here, IndyCar, as mentioned, came here 3 times. We talked about the 69 race. They returned back in 98 and 99. The track record is held by Mark Dinsmore with a speed of, or Dismore, excuse me, not Dinsmore. God, Dismore with a speed of 188.639 miles per hour. When the Indy Racing League did come here, they put a high downforce package on the cars and really, really slowed them down. Originally, during preseason testing, they were well in excess of 200 miles per hour, and they did not want them to be that fast. So that is your track record, 182, and we destroyed it during qualifying. Getting ready to go green this time by. It is Fode, it is Frankenfeld, it is Scholz, Smith, and Pocock, your top 5, coming out of turn 4, and we are back underway here at the Monster Mile.
Thank God, and that time they put the car a little bit more slow because that day in practice, Friday practice, Salazar hit the wall for second time after 1 year, and he broke the arm, hips, leg, pelvis, everything, and he got a replacement for Scott Harrington in that day.
Here is Hibbs and Weeks using that NASCAR knowledge of these two to kind of come up through the field. Weeks up 22. Hibbs has stopped a little bit early. He's down 2 spots, but he's recovering it all right now on the racetrack. He is currently in 10th. Dave Huckleberry up 14 spots to 11th. Craig Forsyth started in 12th, currently is 12th. Let's ride with the Canadian from the Great North, as he is a multi-series winner. And notice he's giving a wide berth to the cars in front of him. A.J. Hobson and that yellow Pennzoil submarine. Good to see that out there. That's more of a throwback to Sam Hornish's IRL car. Fode still your leader. Frankenfeld second. Scholz third. Hunter Smith fourth. Pinero now up to 5th. He gets around Pocock on the low side. Here comes Ethan Stanley. He's going to follow through. Presley Soares in the neighborhood. Gavin Hibbs in the neighborhood. They're all going to try to race for this position as well. The bottom line is the king here. This is the question, how long can you stay down there? Oh, Pocock really close to the wall that time.
Yeah.
Scares off Presley Sora a little bit.
It's like a wake up. Careful with the wall.
Woof. A lot of wide swinging at their corner exit there. And Pinero gets down. He finds a spot, makes himself clear, gets low. Now he goes underneath Smith, or tries to get the peak on Smith. Riding with Pocock. He's breathing the throttle a little bit. Oh, Kidda. He slid up to the wall. Right behind him is Dan Marrera, my hero. And right behind Marrera is his teammate. That is Richie Hearn. I don't think Richie ever drove an IndyCar here. He was racing in kart at the time, I believe.
Should be known.
98, 99, yep. Richie Hearn breathing the throttle as they get a little close in front of him. A Leighton Norgard in 16th, right in front. 48 laps in the books already, 200 to go. Only 2 cautions. I hope I'm not jinxing us when I say that. Next race for us next week, 90 laps at Barber. It doesn't get any easier, boys. It does not get any easier.
It's getting more hard. After that is Long Beach.
Well, I will say with Long Beach, at least a lot of drivers have a lot of experience there. that's a kind of a known racetrack, whereas Barber is not a racetrack that a lot of people like. When they fire up the sim, they're like, let me go to Barber. They're like, I want to go to Long Beach or Road America. Those are the ones that are more familiar to us, right? Yeah.
If you want to choose, for me, I said Barber is más. You can handle it a little bit more easy than the Long Beach. It's bumpy and it's hard. No, I prefer to Barber. Just because it's a racetrack, so no road course or circuit course. Street circuit. Yeah.
Showing Hunter Ingrave on pit road as well. I'm not sure if he was involved in an incident with Herrick and Clinworth at the last caution, but we're showing him on pit road. Showing 23 cars still rolling.
After have a contact with Hunter Smith, and he collected like 3 cars.
Oh wow, big time. And it was Hunter Smith.
But net coat.
Oh, and Pinheiro sent it down low, and it goes up, and it gets Hibbs, it gets Pocock, it gets Barrera, and then Andrew Wood's in that, Ragon is in that, I believe that's Kidda. There is also involved in that Aldrich.
Kita, I think so, is safe. Oh, Kita's safe.
And let's go back a little bit further. Let's go back a little bit further. I'm assuming the leaders are going to pit here, but we'll see what happens. We're going back a little bit further.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we see where this occurs is Pinheiro does a crossover on Hunter Smith. He gets a good run off the corner. Look at this. They close the gap. And then Pinheiro, right before, I think kind of late, just kind of sends it down there. There is net code. And then here comes everybody coming in at 200 miles per hour, piling in. Huckleberry, oh my goodness, everything was banging up against him. He missed it all. Wags, I think, made it through barely. He has a damaged wing. Kidda might have just slid sideways. And Victor Aldrich might be okay, as everyone's trying to come to a complete stop here. But, Dover did Dover things here.
So for race control, so race control decided to don't have a penalty for Pinheiro because it was a net code.
Okay, so no penalty on the race course for this, so that we're going to get Craig Forsyth as the leader now, as everyone has come in for their first stops. All those leaders came in at lap 55-ish, so their first stops are now complete. Forsyth pitted on lap 34 along with Richie Hearn. The teammates stay out, and then behind them is Kidda, who was 1 lap down, and then Tyler Fode, who pitted on 55. So that, a very interesting course of events there, as we're getting ready to get everything situated here to go back to green here shortly. The IndyCar career wins leaders here at Dover are Scott Sharp and Greg Ray. Both won those races in 98 and 99 here. And they both join Art Pollard as the only drivers in IndyCar history with wins at Dover, just those 3. Each, and this is where we're going to get into the comparisons for today, each IndyCar race at Dover, attrition was king. 10 of 22 finished in 69 and 98, while 13 of 23 were left running in 99. So if you were just got done watching on Netflix all 10 episodes of Drive to Survive Season 7, you might as well just consider this episode 11 of that season, because this is a real Drive to Survive today here at Dover, as we're going green next time by. Forsyth and Hearn stay out for the track position. That might not be a bad call, Lewis.
Yeah, it's not going to be a bad call, but I don't know. We still have a lot of laps, then 191 laps to go. Everything gonna happen. You see, Piñero did something we don't see every time. So, and they collect a lot of cars. So it's really, really a tough race for everyone. Let's see where I restart now with Greg Forsyth and Richie Hearn over there.
Leaders are 1-2, the first two cars. Third car's one lap down. Fourth car is P3. That is Fody. We are green flag back underway. Fody underneath the lap car, and he now moves up to third on the racetrack, third in the order. And here comes Frankenfeld. He's going to send it to the inside, much like Pinero did, but he thought against it. Schold underneath Pinero. I wonder if Pinero damaged it all.
I'll let you know. It's kind of hard to know because it's a short track. Everybody's saying you don't need to lose too much, but it look like you have a damage because it's kind of hard to catch the car on the front.
Yeah, being down on speed here might not be a bad situation, kind of. You know what I mean? Presley's...
Yeah, you're right. For try to survive, yeah, for sure. But when you try to define the race, it's not good for him.
Fody back to the lead over the drivers with the older tires. They stay high. They go underneath. So Fody now your leader. Forsyth second. Forsyth gets in line, goes back down to the low side, protects against Frankenfeld in third. Richie Hearn is fourth now, but now Schold moves up to fourth. Hearn's stuck up high as Schold gets to the back attenuator of his teammate. Presley Sora goes to the bottom looking for an answer to try to get up front. Too wide behind Pinero. There's Presley Sora. Kidda, one lap down, just trying to stay out of everyone's way. Ethan Stanley down low. Matthew Weeks has moved up to 9th spot. A.J. Hobson in the Yellow Submarine in 10th. Norgard 11th. Huckleberry in 12th. Huckleberry up 13 spots. Matthew Weeks up 22. Richie Hearn up 12.
Do you see what's doing Ryan Schultz? Is really smart what he doing. So Presley Sora tried to make the 3Y for inside, and Ryan Schultz tried to blocking the move. It's smart because you don't want to do that. So it's the best option. You have a two option: to tell them in chat, or just by move, and that is the best. He can do it.
Sun goes behind some clouds, so we get a little bit of overcast conditions right now. We'll see if that helps these cars stick to the racetrack a little bit better. It is Fody, Forsyth, Frankenfeld, Schold, and Hearn, your top five. You're watching them right here as they are now 2 by 2 by 2, and rows of three back behind them, or rows of two, through 3 rows of 2 behind them. Wag says he is damaged. Clindy not happy about his result. Chris Albrecht looks like he said he is parked. He's going to finish in 24th, but had a good day up until that point. Still lining up side by side, Frankenfeld and Forsyth. Frankenfeld going to the high side with the new tires. He gets on by. Now Hearn and Forsyth side by side, the two teammates. Schold thinking about taking it 3 wide. There was a hole there, but thought against it. Fody's definitely defending to the inside, down the straights. Using that IRL line, which was even the line here back in the day. Back before IndyCar came here and revisited here in 98, 99, one of the things to get them to come to here is that Dover Downs Entertainment, which owns the racetrack, diamond ground the entire racetrack, and certain spots that were very bumpy and really smooth it out. But when you watch the IndyCars race here, the drivers came back and said it's still very bumpy. But at the time, a Winston Cup driver, Jimmy Spencer, he was kind of a big guy. He used to drive for Chip Ganassi. He loved it because for those guys, they said it really made things smoother for them. Anything to make anything, make everything easier for Jimmy Spencer. That's not a good thing.
It's like the old Daytona in 2001 or 2000 when it's just bump, 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 and then now it's all smoothly. Everyone is going in one line.
Throw a blanket basically over the top 10 at the moment. And include Weeks in there. He's at 11th. As everyone's kind of settling down. Fode, Frankenfeld, 21 laps into their run. Forsyth and Hearn, they're 42 laps into there, so they're twice as old. So they would be probably coming to pit road sometime in the next 20 to 25 laps, give or take. And at 17 seconds a lap, 18 seconds a lap that we're turning now, those laps are going to go by very quickly. Here are your last lap speeds as we are dropping now under 200 miles per hour, but we're still turning laps in the 197, 198s. If you enjoy ERN's coverage of the Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series and respect the stream, please do us a solid. Make sure you support us by subscribing. And while you're at it, don't forget to smash like and click the bell so you'll miss out on future ERN broadcasts. For us next week, same time, same place, we will be at Barber for the Alabama Indy Grand Prix. So for our second of 4 road courses this season. I know Ethan Stanley has that circled on his calendar, but speaking of Ethan Stanley, he has worked his way up to 7th now, very patiently riding on the bottom side of the racetrack, picking off spots one by one.
Everyone have a good vision to race.
I think they see the value of patience now. Although really the incidents that we've seen so far, with the exception of maybe one, most of the incidents have not been related to impatience, I don't think.
Oh, Richard Hearn almost on Presley Soda over there. Huh.
I can imagine being on the high side, being uncomfortable.
It is. Because you think, again, you always think the wall is very far, but when you're turned to close to close and put the car straight, the wall is so close. Very close.
Well, when you're going a football field every couple of seconds, you know, a close wall or a wall that seems far away is actually pretty close as well. It doesn't take much to get up in there and into the wall at 200 miles an hour.
You're right. So, Gary, do you know we are 270 days for the last kiss of the Brickyard on December?
The last kiss of the bricks, you mean? The PRI Hoosier 500?
It is.
That's right. We are getting closer to the big race later this December. In December, ERN becomes the primetime home for Happy Hour at the Brickyard, your nightly destination for all the action leading up to the prestigious PRI Hoosier 500. The last kiss of the bricks for 2025 starts here. The countdown is on, so you want to pucker up and don't miss a second of the action. Like, share, and subscribe to stay locked in And we will see you in December at the PRI Hoosier 500. Here comes A.J. Hobson to the low side. He's moved up into the top 7.
I don't like the move that Richard Hearn did, but I think he think it is very secure on the inside line. But because he have a 56 lap, maybe he's gonna come in soon to the pit lane.
And he lets his teammate. Yep, and he lets his teammate in right in front of him. So it could be that they are thinking ahead. A little bit of chess happening right here. Thinking moves ahead so they can get the pit road and get that pit stop.
You know what? President Sora have to be careful and active on the chat, because if it's not, for sure it's gonna get collected by Richard Hearn. Just warning of that, because it's getting super close.
Also involved here, here's Andrew Wood being very patient. He was involved in that big incident that happened, I think, at our last caution, but damage on his car was light enough that he's able to still remain in the race. And a challenger at the moment, move him up to 9th. As we are expecting Craig Forsyth and Richie Hearn there, the 2 blue cars on the bottom line here, to come to pit road anytime. They are now 60 laps into their run. Not too far in front of these guys is lap traffic. So we're going to watch. I think we're going to see our first green flag pit stops here, if I don't jinx it. And you're going to watch how these guys go from 200 miles an hour down to 35.
It's not like it also that. It's just they need to brake, turn the car, try to put it straight. It's really, really difficult. So 62. Maybe they're coming in 2 or 3 more laps. Or maybe 10 more. I don't know. Okay, Richard Hearn said is pitting soon, so maybe 1 more, 2 more laps for him.
I don't know if you saw Presley Sora last time. He grabbed an extra hand of wheel there and got squirrely off the corner exit last lap.
Yeah, it's coming now, Richie Hearn.
Richie Hearn, here we go. Getting down to the apron's the hard part. Misses the grass, slowing down. Now he needs to get down to 35 miles per hour right here.
And he's safe.
And in the background, you're going to watch as all these cars scream by at nearly 200 miles an hour. There they go. And in front of Tyler Fode is James Watson and Thomas Keel, as they're going to go down a lap, unfortunately, in the order here.
Who laps now? Richard Hearn.
Whoa! A.J. Hobson now in 4th, almost into the side. Now we're going to go 3 wide with Norgard. Norgard down low. Hobson now back up to 4th. And he gets a run on Presley Sora. Excuse me, that's not Sora. That's Keel. Keel's car looks a lot like Sora's, sorry.
Craig Forsyth is coming next time by.
Well, watch this. Craig Forsyth here from the drone cam. Watch how he does this. He's got to get down on the apron by this bridge. Then slow down, and oh no, here it is. He catches it. Nice. Great job. A great piece of driving. Now he got to slow down. I think he got it. 35 miles per hour, and now it's a painful crawl down to a stall, and he is just hoping for no caution flags during this period.
So Richard Hearn lost 2 laps down, and the group have it is there. It's very close over there.
So
maybe Forza is
now,
gonna lose 2 more too.
the hope is for those two 4D drivers is that now the leaders are now into the 50s already on their stint. Fody 51, Frankenfeld 51, Schold 51, Hobson 51. That they've done this primarily under green flag conditions, so we expect to see them coming to pit road sometime in the next 10, 15 laps or so.
Yeah, that's this pit stop on these two guys. I help. Almost reached her on the wall. So help us to understand how much it can go in. And we're thinking about 65, like you say, 65 to 17, because maybe Corey Forsyth save a lot of fuel.
But we're still going to have to do another stop. So these guys, if they come in the next at least 2 more stops, I think they got at least 2 more stops they need to do.
So for these two guys, they need to at least 1 more yellow flag to go into the end for 1 more stop, and that's it. Because Richard Hearn is short for 7 laps, and Forsyth is less than 7 laps. Sorry, 40. For 1 lap, he can save it 1 more lap, maybe.
He could probably do that.
But remember, these two guys didn't come in the last yellow flag, so they save it for 2 or 3 laps. So maybe the tank is less on that. Maybe the tank is for 60, or maybe less than 60 laps. So we have to know when is the just green flag, pure green flag without yellows in between.
And while we're waiting for our first...
Andrew Wood is in pit now.
Andrew Wood on pit road. While we're waiting for our next round of pit stops, you can rev up your business with Blue Egg. Your marketing pit crew turbocharge your lead generation with experienced drivers that navigate the competitive track to connecting with your customers. With Blue Egg, you're always in the pole position, leading your brand toward victory lane. Do not spin your wheels. Accelerate success with Blue Egg, fueling small businesses to win big. To learn more about Blue Egg, click on their link in the stream description. They are one of the proud premier partners of the Elite Racing League. Tyler Fody, Frankenfeld, Schold, Hobson, now Weeks moves up to 4th on the high side over Hobson.
So Andrew Wood did 56. So that could make sense for the tank. AJ Hobson is coming now.
Caution on the racetrack.
With, abort. And Jesus for Victor Albrecht. And yeah, like I said at Takeshi Kita. I said when we started the broadcast, be careful when you brake. The car is not going to where you think it's going up.
This is Victor Aldrich.
Yes.
And he comes down off the banking, hits the brakes, goes back up, and Kita right there. And unfortunately, that is one of the things we did talk about. It is not easy to pit here. It is not easy at all, and it takes out 2 cars, unfortunately. And now we are under caution. And now those drivers, which were thinking about making green flag pit stops, they don't have to think about that now. They could just come to pit road. And those that were caught laps down are now in a position where they're not going to be getting those back. They might get one of them back with the wave around, but they're stuck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that is the question is tough. If you're talking about the strategy, they need to only 1 more stop, and that's it. But the Lockies could be coming in one moment on this race, so maybe they're coming in and they can return the lap. I don't know. Who knows? It's really We don't know yet. It's really tough to think about it. And this condition race, short race, is really tough.
All right, while we're under caution, let's get a word in from some of our sponsors, and we'll be right back.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Since 2010, race fans have had one burning question. When will the Xfinity Series return to World Wide Technology Raceway? You asked, NASCAR delivered. On Saturday, September 6, 2025, the magic is back. We're going to introduce you to a new crop of future champions and Hall of Famers, and we'll create more of the greatest moments in racing history. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
We're back, getting ready to go green. Fode, Frankenfeld, Schuld, Weeks, Sora, Ethan Stanley, and Leighton Norgard, AJ Hobson, Pinero, Huckleberry, your top 10. Those are the only cars now left on the lead lap. Here are the rookie points coming into today. Clindy, it's going to hurt him. Keel still on the racetrack. It's going to help him. Wags out, Kidda out. Hearn is a lap down. Watson not having a great day. Wood, he's doing okay. Pocock out, Ingrave out, Aldrich out. So the rookie's having a rough day. So we're going to see some movement in the rookie standings. We'll check the drivers' points here at our next break. Coming the green flag this time by Fode. Had himself a good day. Been leading a lot of this race, but the Little Eagle drivers have been dogging him all day long. It is Fode, Frankenfeld, Schuld, Weeks, Sora, your top 5 as we resume racing at lap 121. So we are just shy of the halfway point. That was a nice run that those guys did last stint. Can we do it again? Fode with clean racetrack in front of him. Clean air. Fode, Frankenfeld, and Schuld. They've been up at the front all today. Presley Sora down low under Weeks. Now Stanley coming through. Weeks back to 6th. Norgard 7th. Hobson 8th. Pinero 9th. Huck in 10th. Well, to give the shout out to Huck, I mean, he's doing what he has to do. Right now, a lot of got some track position, a lot of attrition's kind of helped him out as well, but half the battle, like I said, you're driving to survive out there, and half the battle is staying on the lead lap, and he's done an excellent job. He is up 15 spots to P10 from where he started this day. Matthew Weeks started shotgun on the field. He's in 8th. Sora with the crossover. Trying to get underneath Schuld. And that's kind of what it's going to take to get positions on people today is you got to keep doing this crossover and hope you can get underneath the driver in front of you and have it stick. And then that driver in front of you just has to really concede. But look at the line these drivers are taking down the front stretch now. Look at the first couple, Lewis. They are down on the bottom. They are not leaving that bottom open to anybody.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense. They don't want to. This happened with Piñeiro. Tried to put the car in there. Unfortunately, it was a net call for sure, but the car could be driving over there. But one bad move or dive, I'm gonna say dive bomb, because it's really like that. Could be affected maybe a 3 or more 4 cars. We saw in the incident with Piñeiro, with molded 6 cars out. So it's really tough that move. So it makes sense. If I'm Chat or 40, I just protect that line.
Yeah, I'd bide my time. I mean, he is still leaving room, as you see there on that shot right there. He's still leaving room. There is a car width underneath him. If someone wants to make a run at it, they could make an attempt. Down the backstretch, not as much room. But down the front stretch, he is leaving that room. And if someone wants to stick a nose in there, all they really need to do is get a nose there. That driver on top might have to concede. Now, Sora.
They leave in room for. They don't leave in room on inside for the inside, but they leave in room for make the 3 wide. So Chad, if he want to, he can make a 3 wide in between the press Sora. Now he going up to 1 lane again. But yeah, he can make a 3 wide without matter.
Yeah, it's just a matter of biding time right now as we are past the halfway point. 132 of 248. Thanks for joining us. This is the Monster Mile 400K with the Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you'll miss out on the next race. And as we mentioned, the next race for us next week, 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time. We go to our second of 4 road courses this season as we go to Barber Motorsports Park in Alabama.
It's our marathon. 5 races in a straight. And then we have a break.
Yeah,
and
1 week
then we
break.
Back on Long Beach.
Go to Long Beach, where you go 80 laps there, I believe. Or 80 plus.
85?
Something like
85.
that, yeah.
Oh no, it's 90 laps.
You know what? I think that might have been on the list of races that IndyCar made longer this season. That's maybe why, but yeah.
Maybe because they added 5 laps on each race on the real life. Also, they added 5 laps in Toronto, so it's going to be 90 laps. That's why maybe 90 laps for Long Beach and also Barber too.
We are already 19 laps into this new stint. So they are a third of the way through. And here's the dominance of Sora right here. 128 of 138 laps he's led. Here are your driver's points coming into this round. Pinero, your leader with Stanley. So right now, both those guys still in the lineup. Pinero 9th, Stanley in 5th. They are keeping pace with each other. Foti right now looking to probably, if he maintains his position, I believe he might actually pick up the lead if we were to finish like this right now. Clindy's going to be the one that's going to hurt out of this. He's currently 4th. Norgard might get around Clindy. Forsyth, same way. Blauman not in the lineup tonight. Keel having a bit of a, he's 1 lap down in 13, so he's not having a rough race. He's just out of sequence right now. Frankenfeld looking to recover after a rough start to the season. He's in 9th. He is now going to put a little room between him and 10th because Wags is out. But that is your top 10 coming into today's event here at Dover Motor Speedway. Back to the action on hand. Nothing has changed up front. You have watched it here. Pinero in 9th, Huck in 10th. 10 cars still in the lead lap. Andrew Wood, Forsyth, Keel, Hearn are the group of cars from 11th to 14th that are 1 lap down, hoping to catch a break here. James Watson, 12 laps down right now, just turning laps out there. He's got the car fixed. He's not up to the same pace as everybody, but he is still making laps out there. And if anyone else should fall out, he will move up into the order. But right now, just by perseverance, he's got himself a top 15 finish.
So this race remembered me on Montana last week. At some point in the before to finish the race, or after 3/4 of the race, everybody's in one line. So let me tell you, maybe on 10, 20 laps or 10 laps to go, everybody's gonna get crazy with 2 sides and 1, maybe 2 side by side to the end.
Watching Hobson getting a little loose there on the corner. Had a car above him. As I crack open a nice cold Coke here to help my voice. At least we're not 500 miles. That was a long race last week, but a great race, great strategy race. But you're right. With the way that these guys are kind of settling in, they're in line, kind of behaving, which is great. That's what we want to see. We're going to see a lot of single file racing as they get to that last stint, and then the gloves really come off. Leaders coming up to Kidda. Kidda currently back in 16th.
So if I lap down with the car damage, I just stay focused on the front and don't move my wheel. And that's tough. Really tough.
Here is the Robbie Gordon cam. This is what it looks like here at Dover. And right there, Frankenfeld had a shot on the outside. And I think he's actually working on a shot on the outside. He's trying, he's giving it a good workout. I'm not sure if Fody can hold the bottom as well as he used to.
Actually, it's going a little way up, but it's doing well, actually. It's really doing very well to follow the line.
Here are the last laps for
again,
everybody. We're in the 197 range. A little bit further back, 199s.
You have only one chance to pass the lead, and the only chance is do something dirty to try to catch the front. And that is maybe make a dive bomb or just like a NASCAR style. If you do the NASCAR style, maybe the car is going to go to the wall. That's the problem. But just give it a little bit touch on the back and make it. But yeah, it could be penalty over there. IndyCars don't do that stuff. But yeah. Or maybe a green flag stop. That's the only chance for Chad to get the first position.
And right now, the front of the field being dominated by elite racing league regulars. The IndyCar regulars, the IndyCar community regulars are having a bit of a struggle today. Pinero's kind of the leader of that group at the moment. He's back in 9th. Hobson's a bit of an IndyCar regular. He's in 6th.
AJ Hobson almost close to Watson. It is funny, all of these people from 40 to Norgad in one group, and you see a 9th position, Adriano Piñeiro, in making a little bit gap for any problem that's happened. And he don't want to get involved in that group. It's just, you know what? If it's something happen, I'm gonna stay over here. I don't want to do nothing else.
Well, I mean, still, things happen very quickly. So, I mean, he is still pretty
Yeah.
close. If there's a big one, he might not be able to miss it, but he has given himself a little bit of breathing room in the 9th spot. Not to mention, he's in the big chair when it comes to saving the most fuel. If it turns into where fuel saving turns into a strategy here, but right now fuel saving has not turned into a strategy. It is Fode, Frankenfeld, Sora, and Weeks now, your top 4. Hobson in 5th, Schuld 6th, Stanley 7th, Norgard 8th. We're riding with Pinero in 9th. Here is...
So Pinero, he tried to go in for 60 in his tank. If he do a 60, he can go to the end. Let me see.
Well, that's another 15 laps of now.
Oh, he tried to go in for
165.
65.
3 plus 15 equals, so that'll be 178, and he's going to be doing 60.
Or maybe 65.
That's 238. That's 10 short. So he needs to get more. He needs to get more. Everybody needs to get more, I think. Riding with Pinero, Huckleberry in 10th, top 10. Last cars on the lead lap. Then we got Andrew Wood in 11th, Forsyth in 12th. Forsyth caught a lap down. Also, Wood caught a lap down. And same thing with Richie Hearn, because when they came to pit road, they had to do it under green flag conditions. And then what we feared the most, and what we were talking about, is exactly what Little Eagle said they feared, was coming to pit road and a caution occurring. And that's what exactly we had happen.
That is happening with Richie Hearn and Craig Forsyth.
Yep.
So the expression on Craig Forsyth on radio says, "Cheese," because he lost 2 laps, and then it's kind of no game over, but
it makes things more difficult. Let's put it that way.
Yeah, it is.
And there you see the telemetry from Pinero's car, not getting really below 195 very much. Well, it got a little bit below 193 that time, up over 200 miles per hour there, going into the corner, 204. He is playing with the throttle some.
So the greater the concentration on this driver is really incredible, because you've been for 62 laps without action around. In some point you start to feel like a DC. Maybe it's not DC like oh, I feel like a DC. It's like a DC, like I'm gonna go to sleep, because it's no action, it's no nothing. And this happened to me before. It's like you don't have nothing more to do, just waiting for the laps to going to the last 20 laps or 10 laps when the action has started again. And now it's like just turn 18 seconds for around the track, another 18 seconds around the track. So you're getting like be focused, and that is the hard part. And me, was really tough when especially the race is long and you have to be over there. And at some point you lose the concentration, hit the wall, and then gone.
Well, we've started the top 5 have left single file. Weeks is now up to second as he's attempting the high side, working on it right now over Fode. Frankenfeld back to 3rd. Hobson now 4th. Sora in 5th. As we are now 57 laps into this stint. We've been green the entire time. There it is. We're going to knock on wood somewhere. Okay. We're good. But we are getting close to green flag pit stops that might actually decide this thing if they go through green flag pit stops cleanly.
Yes, sir. So we have 73 to go. All of these guys need to catch the maybe 70 or 65 to go to the end. But I think with calculations and things, nobody here, we can do it. Maybe we're gonna have a.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. We'll redo the math and see if our math is right. We do want to thank Go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, we do want to thank Warriors for Peace for their continued sponsorship of the series. Warriors for Peace is an Indianapolis-based nonprofit organization working to end violence and inspire peaceful change. Founded in the memory of Jack Shockley, they support youth through scholarships, mentoring, and community programs. To learn more or to support their mission, visit their webpage at warriors4peace.org or follow one of their socials today. All the links you need are in the description. We want to thank Warriors for Peace for their continued support of this signature series in the Elite Racing League family of championships. It is Fody, it is now Weeks, and it is now Sora, your top three, as they kind of are now a little bit starting to pull away.
Fody's coming now. Next time by.
Okay, so this is when the guys start praying to the racing gods to nothing to happen. Cody, Weeks coming in too.
Nice. You know what? I prefer to lose time in my break to coming in.
Yes.
Than try to do my hero break, and that's not working. Actually, it's working in practice for sure, but with the old tires, it's nope.
So Fody is coming to 64 when he crosses the line this time for this stint. So we will do the math here and see if he can do this.
They did 65, and we have 68 to go. Sora is coming now.
Down and away, and he's going to beat out Weeks. So Sora now coming off a Sora coming on the pit road, excuse me. Sora and Keel have very similar looking cars.
Adriano Pinheiro hit the wall a little bit.
Huckleberry coming to pit road too, scheduled stop. Chad Frankenfeld coming to pit road.
Oh, you see the entry on the Ryan Chul.
Oh, Schultz all over the backside of Frankenfeld there. Okay, so let me look at Fody. Fody went 64. He pitted at 182. So if we take 182 plus 64, that gets to 246. So he's going to 2 laps short if he can do 64 laps again. So he needs to try to save a little bit. These guys going a little bit longer here, they could they could probably go full burn on this run. Mm-hmm. So this is final. We're watching final stops here for a lot of these guys, especially they go deeper into this run. They get more into the 70 range, like Ethan Stanley, Pinheiro, and Norgard. They're pretty much sealing their final stop here, right here. Caution on the racetrack, and it is Dave Huckleberry on the inside, car up against the wall. Not sure who it was, but that is really going to mess things up now.
With Thomas, oh no.
Oh,
Thomas,
it's Keel, and it's like they hooked wheels and Netcode took over. Oh, my goodness. Let's watch that again just to get a little better of an angle here. Huckleberry coming to pit road, or maybe coming to speed. I think he's coming up to speed because we just saw him on pit road. He's letting the cars go on by, but he's coming up to speed. And then what happens between him and... Oh, he just kind of came up into him, unfortunately. Well, we're going to see what race stewards decide on that. But Keel not having a good day, being a lap down. Unfortunately, the day goes even worse for him. And Huckleberry was having a real good day. He was up in the top 10, and that day is pretty much done now. If he can get repaired, he can maybe try to salvage a top 15 finish at this point.
So Ryan Schultz have a EOL because the entry he did on pit stop. That's why he got a DOL and going back to the field.
Okay, so we won't be able to check that out, but apparently the way he entered pit road was not an approved entry, and so he is going back to the back of the pack, but he is one lap down. So because of what happened, Pinero and Stanley now are the only two on the lead lap. Now, Norgard is also on the lead lap. He is behind them. But we're going to get a number of cars with a wave around here.
So basically, so you can see in between Chad, he says the front to him, and Ryan Schultz on the back. So Chad brake before turn 3, but Ryan Schultz brake in turn 3 and coming into the apron to come into the pit. That's why race control give it to him the penalty. Because it's a kind of unsafe entry to the apron to coming in. And they mentioned, and also in the briefing before the race. So, yeah, that's why.
All right, this is, I think, no. We're trying to see when Schold came to pit road.
It was, I can tell you the lap, it was on lap
186.
185 to 86. Oh.
All right, we're just going to go rewind here, and we'll do it the old-fashioned way.
185. And they cross the line on 186.
Okay, let's just see what happens here. Oh, okay. All right, we see. Okay.
That's the race control mentioned that. It is what it is. So that's the rules have over here, and that's the rules they have before in ERL time.
Okay, so interesting enough, I was looking at Dan Marrera's quote in chat here. Blue egg are apparently cheaper than real eggs these days. He is the leader. Pinero second, Norgard third. Those are the only three on the lead lap because of what happens during green flag pit stops and when things go wrong. They are now the only cars on the lead lap. Frankenfeld, Fody, who's dominated today, Sora, Weeks, and Hobson, who all came to pit road for scheduled green flag stops. As we go green, they are now caught all one lap down here as we are now starting really the final stint of this race. Ethan Stanley has picked up the lead. Stanley protecting on Andrew Wood there. Not sure he needs to do that necessarily. Wood's 3 laps down, but he's going to protect the bottom. Craig Forsyth 2 laps down. Craig's going to want to get around this as well. I mean, Stanley might just want to let him go if he can, if he knows.
Oh no! Takita, I have a contact with. It's not yellow. It's still in green.
Kidda had contact. Let's see what happens.
With AJ Hobson. In turn 4 exit. Oh, it's kind of loose. What?
And he bangs the wall and then goes into AJ right in front of Weeks. How Weeks missed that. But we're still green flag.
Yeah, that's weird.
And now we got behind Ethan Stanley. There's Schold. Schold wants to get back on at least one lap down, so he'll want to get around. Frankenfeld, the same thing. Stanley, I mean, we're coming to 48 to go now. Stanley might just see the big picture, like, I'm not ready to allow them back on the lead lap this time. But at some point, he shouldn't necessarily let him by because they're also kind of acting a buffer between him and Pinero. But at some point, if they start racing him hard, I would just let him go. Pinero second, Norgard third. And there is Norgard. He's just kind of watching all this happen in front of him. Probably a good position. A number of drivers probably aren't happy from going a lap down because of the pit stop situation. This is where really I wish that iRacing would allow a little bit more customization and flexibility in their races and allow like variable speeds on pit road where, you know, if I had a stock car race here, yeah, I can understand 35 miles per hour. The IndyCar race here, could we do 55 miles per hour on pit road? Can we do 60 miles per hour on pit? Can we make it a little bit faster? Now, that's something I wish iRacing would allow, but for a lot of cases, all IndyCar racing is on iRacing is it's open wheel cars slammed into a stock car sim, and I really wish iRacing would put a little bit more customization in there for IndyCar, but
maybe when they make it a new game in a lot of years more in the future.
A lot of years more.
Yeah, because
Frankenfeld. Frankenfeld was thinking about it, going underneath.
So, do you remember what's happened? The result. I have the result actually on my screen. In 1989, the Pet Boy 400K. Scott Sharp won the race that day, and then Bobby Lassiere was second, and then Marco Recco with 2 laps down.
Yeah.
So look like we are
kind of in the same thing. I mean, who would have guessed that Marco Greco has, very many career podiums in the Indy Racing League?
Yeah. And then David Hamilton and Stefan Gregoire on fifth in 4 laps.
I think we can count on our hands the number of times Marco Greco had a podium, and I think we can almost count on our hands the number of times Stefan Gregoire had a top 5.
I can tell you.
But I mean, it's really no surprise that drivers like Hamilton and Lazier and Sharp did well here because they were known for really getting good finishes out of their cars. Hamilton never won a race, but he finished second in the IRL points in the 96-97 season. And he was a good job as Norgard going underneath Frankenfeld. Norgard has moved up to second now around Pinero. But Hamilton was known for getting good finishes, for points pains finishes. He just never got the win. Oh, we're getting dicey here.
Yeah. I don't know. In some point, Chad and Percy Sola have to think about it. Okay, we don't have nothing more to lose over here. We can go back. Actually, no, Sola, no. He can stay over there. Norgan can.
Now that's a battle for position right there. That's a battle for 4th and 5th between Frankenfeld and Sora.
Because Sora have a 1 lap down.
Both Sora and Frankenfeld are both 1 lap down. But that's a battle for position.
It's only Pinheiro, Norgar, and Stanley fight for the victory. Was contact on chat on Presley Sora over there. Let's go. Oof.
Oh, gets back in line.
Oof. Kind of spicy on the radio.
Oh, Pinheiro actually might have got a little bit of the apron that time through 1 and 2.
So, okay. So, complain about the chat is every time when I go to the bubble, something move you do it. So I complain about the Stanley, about the move but everything is about net code. So it's not like it's something to move. Unfortunately, we saw 3 or 4 contests today, or maybe, 3 contests today with net code, and it's not about the cars. It's just about.
Well, and there goes Stanley. Stanley lets Sora back around, so Sora now at the tail end of the lead lap. And and here comes Frankenfeld. Frankenfeld now at the tail end of the lead lap. So Stanley playing a little bit of. I think it's better safe than sorry, or discretion is a better part of valor. Let's say that, where he lets the 2 drivers on by, but Sora having not a good lap that time, and allowing Stanley back underneath. All the while, second and third place is that multicolored pink and blue car on the high side over the orange and yellow car on the low side, and that's Norgard and Pinheiro.
I think Pinheiro is is a better scenario here, because they have Sora and Frankenfeld on the front. He can make the pass of Sally and going for the lead, but he need to make the move. And then side by side is Norgard. Now he can pass, and he need to wait for Sora maybe going low to make the pass on Stanley.
And I think we're good on all these drivers. Even Fody, I think he's back there saving in 6th. He needs a couple of laps.
Okay.
But I think everybody's okay. Ethan Stanley went 73 laps, and he stopped at 191. So 191 minus 248. That tells me that he went 57, so he's definitely within his zone for finishing. Same thing.
Look at that Pinheiro.
Yeah, Pinheiro just very, very calmly on the top.
Of the lead.
Pinheiro's definitely good to go. Norgard went 71 laps and pitted at 189. So 189 minus 248. That's 59 laps, so it's within his range as well.
It is crazy how Adriano Pinheiro, with all of this incident today in this race, he have 6 incidents contact today, and it's still in the race, so it's still over there for the race.
Yeah, he is among the in the top 10. He has the most incidents, so he's been bounced off of a couple of times today. And here comes Fody, so I think Fody has saved the fuel that he needs to. He's going to re-engage here, but he is still 1 lap down, so he needs to get around all this and hope for a caution.
But I still thinking, like you said, like maybe 100 laps ago, I think Pinheiro have a damage, and look like when you have go for the race, he can, and I think he have a little bit of damage in the car for trying to do something.
There you see Pinheiro kind of making a wide berth for the back of his car as Fody's getting there. I don't know if Pinheiro knows that Fody is a lap down. But this is going to be the group that's going to decide it here for the win. We got to get one more word in for World Wide Technology Raceway, and we will be right back for the finish of this race here at Dover. We'll be right back.
3 years of sellout crowds, 3 years of edge-of-your-seat action, 3 years of jaw-dropping finishes. Worldwide Technology Raceway has rocked the world of NASCAR, and now NASCAR is giving us another reason to celebrate. The 2025 NASCAR Cup Series Championship Playoffs are coming. Sunday, September 7th, 2025. Just when you thought the racing couldn't get any more intense, now every single lap matters. One wrong move could be the difference between elimination and being crowned the king. The Enjoy Illinois 300, the Confluence Music Festival, the NASCAR Cup Series playoffs, and for the first time in 15 years, the NASCAR Xfinity Series on Saturday, September 6th. Don't be on the outside looking in. See history being made in your own backyard. Go to www.raceway.com for the hottest ticket of the year.
And we're back. We're 18 to go here. Thanks for joining us. Want to make sure that if you're just joining us, you're watching ERN's coverage of Round 5 of 12 of the Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series, the Monster Mile 400K coming to you from Dover Motor Speedway, where Ethan Stanley currently leads with about 17 laps to go. Make sure to smash the like button, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on the next race. These guys have been behaving very well here, but now we got two battles intermixed here. We have a battle for the lead, which is Stanley and then Norgard to his high side in that multicolored car. Kind of looks like a fishing lure. I love the colors of that car. He's going to go side by side now with our leader. And then all the other cars, with the exception of Pinero, which is that orange and yellow car behind, these guys are all one lap down for the most part, all trying to get back, all within battles of one another, with the exception of the blue car, which is Forsyth, and he's the first car 2 laps down at 8th spot. So what we're watching is we're watching first, second, and third here in the same picture. 4th and 5th, 1 lap down. Actually, 5th is on the tail end of the lead lap now, as he's technically in front of the leader. Frankenfeld also on the same thing. He's in front of the leader. So Fody is now in 6th spot in that yellow car, 1 lap down. 13 to go. Just starting to get real congested up there. Just one little twitch of the wheel, one bad net code, and we're looking at an entirely different situation. Ethan Stanley.
I'm looking for the standing of Norgard. I hope maybe it can be the first win or maybe the second win of him. I want to check it out.
I don't think he's won, but Stanley, he's looking at his second ever oval win, and the first win on a non-super speedway oval. Coming to 10 to go. Stanley just needs to keep it clear and green. Norgard at some point needs to make a decision if he can make a move or not. I think Pinero is going to just stay in third and capitalize on mistakes. I don't think he might be damaged, and if he is, he might just not have the car in it today in order to make a drastic move here at the end.
So Norgard, his best result was in Kentucky this year when he finished on third. So could be today his first victory or best result on second place today.
Yeah, he was a rookie last season, and his racecraft of these cars has definitely improved this season, where he's now a player in the top 10 in points. So he'll want to very much so get the win, but he wants to get a good finish out of this thing and maybe look at a second podium finish this season. Stanley, Norgard, Pinero, your top 3. They are basically all on the lead lap together. Frankenfeld, Sora on the tail end of the lead lap in front of this pack, but there's just no place to go and they can't break away. They need to hope for a caution. But with 7 to go, we're getting to the point that if we go caution, that might be the race. We do have lap traffic involved. That is Kidda. Kidda, oh my goodness. Yeah, gets tight there, very tight.
Nice.
Norgard actually got credit for leading that lap.
Nice.
So Norgard now on a run, and he actually has the 8 of draft in front of him with Sora, so that's going to help him. But the top line is not the best line around here. Stanley, I think, had to lift a little bit because of, I think, kind of what involved Kidda with that lap car. It made things a little bit odd. That may be what happened here. 4 to go. Now coming to 3 to go.
So Sora can going. That's the thing. I can go close of Stanley or Chad, and Norgard can gain maybe one position over there.
Well,
But,
and we're coming to 2 to go, and if Sora wants to get out of the way to allow Norgard to attack, where can he go at this point?
nowhere. Just stay over there. It's not make sense to leave it at the lap, the D lap to battle for the position. It's just also one more white flag is coming.
Yeah, white flag this time by Stanley, looking at his first short oval win. He's going to be down low. Norgard up high. Pinero starts to fade back a little bit, so it's going to come down between Stanley and Norgard side by side. We're going to go 3 wide down the backstretch.
Nice.
Here comes Norgard on the high side, but he's just not going to be there. He's going to end up a car length short, as the winner is Ethan Stanley, his first oval win since Michigan a couple of seasons ago, and his first short track win of his ERL career.
So in 1 hour and 31 minutes, Ethan Stanley won the race from Steven. Norgard and Pinheiro today, the race. And Matthew Weeks, 24, but today as the LGN driver of the day, sponsored by P1 Broadcasting.
And here are your results. Ethan Stanley with the win. Leighton Norgard second, his best career finish. He misses the win by 0.072. But just the high side was not the fastest side here at Dover, unfortunately. But a good finish for him, and he's going to really enjoy the points and the prestige that comes with just really finishing a race here at Dover. Pinero third, that's going to help him in the points championship. Frankenfeld, he finishes on the tail end of the lead lap in fourth. Fody in fifth. Fody's not going to be necessarily happy with that finish. He really dominated this day, but the best he could do was a top 5, getting stuck at 1 lap down because of how a yellow caution happened when he came to pit road. Presley Sora in 6th, Matthew Weeks 7th. As you mentioned, Matthew with the most improved of the race. Craig Forsyth in 8th, Schuld in 9th, Andrew Wood in 10th. Richie here in 11th, Watson 12th. Watson just kind of piloting that car there. I told you, he'd pick up some more spots there. And he gets almost a top 10 out of it just by driving to survive. Hobson 13th, but not indicative of the day and the performance he was having up until he had issues. Kidda 14th, Huckleberry 15th. Again, not indicative of his day. He was back up in 10th or higher for much of the afternoon. Keel, Aldrich, Wagner, Morera, Smith, all caught up in incidents. Days they wish to remember, definitely days they wish to forget. We got Hibbs, Pocock. They were both having good days. Ragon struggling a little bit today, but he's back at 23rd. Albrecht, he did the starting park. Technically speaking, in the virtual sense, his car should all be in one piece. It doesn't need to go back to the virtual Dallara shops to order parts. Ingrove in 21st, Mitchell 26th, Herrick 27th, Clindy, not a very good finish at 28th. He's not happy about that. Pizarro and Camargo in 29th and 30th. 30 cars happening here at Dover, Delaware.
You remember what I said when we started the broadcast? I said, I'm going to put my bet on 5 cautions today. And we had 5 cautions today. Total. Only 5.
Oh, okay, everyone listen up, though. Listen up. What are the lottery numbers so we can go all get our lottery tickets? LGN has a crystal ball tonight, folks.
I hope I have it for my lottery back now.
All right. All right, let's get some replays queued up here. All right, let's get. We can clear the purple lap of the day. Belonged to Herrick. We didn't get a chance to shout that out. He hit a 17.8 at one point. That's how they were really cruising around this place. Let's we do that. Pinero, unless he sent the message to you, we might have to come back to him.
Yeah, I forget about him.
Yeah. We will move on, and he will typically send us a post-race message. But let's talk about a Leighton Norgard, shall we? Let's bring him on up here. And here he is, a Leighton. Another podium finish this season, and a better finish. You improved upon it. Your earlier podium this season at Kentucky. Got a second today by the closest of margins, really, there at the high end. It was a lot closer. The timing showed it a lot closer to really what it looked like on the racetrack. The high line just didn't really have the momentum you needed to kind of pull that pass off. But you made a good show of it, and it looks like also the big thing for you is that fuel saving you were able to do and stay out longer than everyone else and catching that yellow. That's really kind of what put you out there in the top three and gave you a shot here at the win in the closing stages. Talk about your race.
Yeah, like you said, I just kind of picked the right time to go heavy on the fuel saving and stretch that run out. And then as that yellow comes out, I'm crossing the pit entry line. So that was about as good a timing as I could hope for. Really kind of lucked out on that. If it was any earlier, I probably would have gotten a penalty. And I'm not sure what the penalty was. I know Craig Forsyth behind me got one, but I'm not sure what the penalty actually was. If it was just an EOL, it'd be fine. But if it was like a drive-through, that'd be a kiss of death. But yeah, I didn't think I would be able to get around Ethan if it was just him in front. But as soon as we had Chad and Presley Sora up there fighting, that gave me some extra cars to draft off of potentially. I did manage to lead at least one lap. So
yep, we saw that.
But yeah, I couldn't get enough of a run behind Sora to get by Ethan at the start finish line, and then I had to try something on that last lap. Took it 3 wide to get around Sora, but yeah, just couldn't get enough of a run without any draft to get around Stanley there. But that was a lot of fun. I didn't have very high hopes for this race just because of how close the cars were going to be in terms of performance, total pack race, but things kind of worked out my way, and got my best finish of my IndyCar career so far.
Talk about, though, the racing there for the win, and then, of course, you got and nothing against Sora and Chad. They're trying to get back on the lead lap, and they're also racing for positions at any time where you're like, come on, man, I know you're helping me on the draft, but get out of my way so I can get up there and race with the guy. At any point were you kind of feeling frustration that the guys in front of you are not on the same lap necessarily as you, but they're racing for position, but they're kind of making it hard for you to get up to the front?
I think the biggest thing is that I was hoping that with like 2 or 3 laps left, they would kind of get out of the way, because at that point a caution wouldn't get them their lap back. But I think either way, passing Ethan was going to be tough. Having Chad in front of him was probably going to be my best chance. So yeah, I mean, the only thing that could have gone differently, I think, is if Chad kind of pulled up and I got the draft off of him instead of Ethan, but that'd be kind of manipulating the results on his part. And I mean, I wouldn't complain about it, but I'm sure there'd be some people that won't be too happy about that.
Last question, and it's probably going to be a while before we come back to Dover here, but describe the experience that you had here with 30 Indy cars on a mile, high-banked oval, 17-second laps, 200 miles per hour plus lap speeds. Head on a swivel, eyes everywhere. I mean, it's tough to look at your gauges and everything just because you're not going in a straight line very long to rest. You're always kind of doing something in these cars. Talk about the experience that you kind of had today. It's kind of a unique experience that you might not have in an Indy car anytime relatively soon, at least when it comes to the ERL. It might be a little while before we see this track back on the schedule, but describe the experience out there for everyone that might be wondering what it's like. I know the phrase that some IndyCar drivers have used. I think Rick Mears said at one time, it's like, even though not necessarily talking about here, but it's like flying fighter jets in a gymnasium. What do you think about that?
Yeah, I think as tense as IndyCars normally are, just with how fast they are, it's just amplified here. There's so little space. Cars are going so fast. You just got to be prepared to react at any instant. That first big wreck that we had, that was right in front of Ethan, and I was right behind Ethan. So it was kind of a close call dodging that one on the front stretch. Yeah, it's just, the good thing here is that the car drove fairly easy. It wasn't getting loose or anything, so it would kind of just go where you wanted it to. So that kind of took some of the mental effort out of keeping the car in line. So I was still able to do things like mess with the black box or use the push stop key in Discord and things like that. But yeah, this was an hour and a half of pretty intense focus. So kind of glad that it's over.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone who want to say hi to before we let you go?
My teammates at Abbott Motorsports, Cale Pocock, he didn't have a whole lot of luck here again this week, but Robert Hill wasn't here this week. I know Corey Abbott was watching. Yeah, all those guys, a lot of fun racing with them. Been racing with Ethan Stanley and Tyler Fody as well for IndyCar, so it's been a good opportunity for learning. And then you guys for doing the broadcast.
Well, it's our pleasure. Congratulations on the P3. Off to a road course next week, 90 laps at Barber. This schedule does not get any easier for one more week, so get your practice in, get your rest up. You're going to need it next week, but congrats on the P3 here today, and I bet you it's going to feel pretty good, so go get your rest.
Yep, thanks. Looking forward to next week.
All right, then let's bring up Panero's car. Here he is. I think we have a message from him. Here we go. Hello, good evening. I'd like to congratulate Stanley for the victory and Norgard for the P2. I took pole position, and during the race, I tried to stay in the first half of the group, trying to save fuel. So there was some fuel saving going on, as we thought. We had some yellow flags at the beginning of the race, which reduced the field on the grid quite a bit. After half the drivers were out of the race, I had positioned myself in P10 or 9, and it was saving fuel. Unfortunately, just before the last stop, I hit the wall and got some damage. The last yellow flag meant only let me read this again. The last yellow flag meant that only me, Stanley, and Norgard were on the same lap. And I just hoped that the rest of the race would be green, which it ended up to being, it looks like. P3 for me was a great result because of my damage. That is it. About Barber, I know the track well. I hope to be able to fight for victory again on the road track. Everyone have a great night. Adriano Panero. So we will check on the points here momentarily, but that is his stat line for the night. I'm not sure if he led 3 of 249 laps. So little lead time for him as well. Let's go ahead and bring up Ethan Stanley. And just need to get back to the Discord here. And here he is. Ethan, we got you again on the podium. Congratulations, sir. Second win on an oval. First on a, kind of hard to believe this really is a short oval, but it is a mile oval. First on a short oval, even though we're doing 200 mile per hour average lap times. But really, the big story is you and 2 other drivers really outlasted everyone else on a fuel save on that next to last stint, and that really saved your guys' goose when that caution came out, because you then vaulted right to the top in the last 3 on the lead lap to battle it out for the win in that last stint. other than maybe racing those lap cars. It got a little hectic there. Really didn't have a lot of competition for the win until the closing laps when Norgard finally got a beat on you on the high side. But much of that last stint, there was really no one there to challenge you. But let's talk about picking up that caution and talk about that last stint and the racing conditions with the lap cars around you. How hectic was that last stint as well?
Yeah, that was kind of the strategy. Just try to outlast everyone, save the most amount of fuel that I could, just map 5 the whole run. And was hoping it would work out one of these times, and it did at the end. And yeah, just got the track position, was able to stay ahead of Adriano too, which was really important. So yeah, you can just kind of rip the bottom, and it's really hard to pass the leader. Chad was a little bit difficult to race. He was pinching me hard, and wasn't too happy with it, I guess. I don't know. But I let him by, and then was able to just kind of ride behind him the rest of the run. But other than that, it was pretty relaxed, pretty chill. Kind of ripping the bottom. Nobody can really go anywhere. 2 lap cars in the front.
Second win this season, and now we're heading to 2 consecutive road courses, which is kind of right in your alley here. How are we feeling about this next run of races? You got to be feeling pretty darn good looking at the schedule.
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I didn't really expect a great result here, but I'll definitely take a win. First, like, legit win on an oval. It wasn't on count back. Yeah, I'm pretty excited going into Barber. Pretty fun track. Ran it once before here in Elite, but I wasn't quite up to the same level that I am now. So hope to go for the win there. And then Indy GP, I won it last year. Pretty fun track. I love Indy GP. So hoping to go for pretty decent result there too. I know everybody's a bit better there than everywhere else.
Talk about your experience. I had Leighton kind of talk about the experience for people that just have never raced an IndyCar, maybe just watching out of curiosity. I'm sure there was a lot of morbid curiosity considering we were at Dover, but again, the quote by Rick Mears, not talking about here, but racing an IndyCar on an oval sometimes on a short oval is like flying a fighter jet in a gymnasium. Is that an accurate quote for kind of the experience you had here at Dover, and kind of explain what it's like out there for someone that doesn't have a lot of experience in this car about what the experience was like for you while driving this car during this race at this track?
Yeah, I mean, 200 miles an hour around here is pretty ridiculous. It's kind of threading the needle every time you go into the corner. Just got to really check your outside, and it's kind of tough for a guy like me on a single monitor to check that every lap. Yeah, just it's really tight. A little less understeery than I thought it would be. Cars work great in the pack, but yeah, just tight. It's kind of like a super speedway in a way, and I usually run pretty decent at those, so not too surprised I was up towards the front, but pretty fun, in my opinion.
Shout outs, friends, family, sponsors, anyone you want to say hi to for your second win of the season, and like a lot of momentum going into a strong part of your schedule that's going to favor you. So I know you got some folks out there you want to say hi to.
Yeah, of course. Big thanks to Blue Egg being a sponsor on the car. Keep getting them wins here. Hope we keep going with that. Big shout out to the guys at Lake Norman, me and Fody running, and then we got a couple other guys in the chat running with us too. Big shout out to you guys up in the booth. I love watching these back. And just big shout out to Chad and Chris and all the admins that run this.
Well, congratulations on the win, and we'll look at the points here. We'll just give everyone a verbal update on the points. Ethan Stanley, Mr. Ethan Stanley, you are the points leader by 14 over Adriano. Your teammate Tyler's in third with 154 points. You have 180, Panero 166, Tyler 154. Leighton Norgard up to fourth with 130. Clindy still stays in the top 5 with the bad day at 115 points. Craig in sixth with a 102. Chad up to seventh with now a flat 100. And then Keel, Hearn, and Blauman round out the remainder of the top 10. Still a lot of racing left to go. But again, you get the win. You now the points leader, and now you're heading into 2 road course races, and you dominated the previous road course races in the most recent history here in the league. it's all kind of coming up 91 right now for Ethan Stanley. So, congratulations, man. And you got to be feeling good. But as I always say, this schedule is not easy this season. Another 90 laps at Barber is a long day. So get your rest, but enjoy it.
Yep. Thanks, guys.
No problem. We'll catch you at the next one. That is career win number 2 on the oval and 2 wins this season for Ethan Stanley. All right, and we got to do some just some changing here of the overlay. There's the final standings. We will close that, and then we will real quick before we get to the post race bit. I do want to bring up the schedule one more time, so everyone can take a look at the schedule. Next week we're at Barber, then a week off, then we're going to Long Beach. That is the end of the we're really at the halfway point right now. So we're starting the second half of the season at Barber, and then we go to Long Beach, Nashville Superspeedway, Indy GP. Then we have our month of May. Then we go to Milwaukee, which is going to be a throwback livery race. That's going to be pretty cool. And then we will wrap up with our partners at World Wide Technology Raceway at Gateway. That is your remainder of the season. Lewis, kind of what we expected today. You kind of called your shot on the 5 cautions, so congrats on that. But we knew that it was going to be hectic. And then as we were preparing for the race, we just saw more and more people entering and getting. Now, we had 30 cars here. And when Indy Racing League came here for real, I mean, they didn't have much more than 23 cars, I think was the most. So this was the most Indy cars I've ever seen at Dover. And I think that even beats the official series, which I think stopped at 26 or 27. So overall, only 5 cautions out of all that. Most everyone did pretty well and behaved well. But unfortunately, the situation occurred a couple times here that the cautions happened right when the pit stints or the pit stops were cycling through, and that ultimately was the biggest factor and kind of what decided this race is kind of how those cautions fell.
Yeah, it's happened with Garrett Forsyth and Richie Hearn when they came in and the yellow flags came out when this circle started. So when everybody, so I think I don't remember the name who called it first, and it was the time right. Oh, Andrew Wood came third to like at the last one to coming into the pit stop, and then he coming all the group, and then when he coming all the groups happened with the Victor did the incident on the pit entry. So it was a really tough race. It wasn't tough actually for us because it could be more worse.
It could be more worse. It definitely. Yeah. The real world IndyCar races that were here, at least in '98 and '99, they were a lot worse than this. A lot. So these guys, I thought, with everything considered, with 30 plus cars and some people still learning experience wise on these cars. I mean, when the Indy Racing League came here, those were quote unquote professional drivers. I expected a lot longer night here, and these guys did an awesome job, really.
We did for 1 hour and 31 minutes, and they did for 2 hours and 29 minutes race for 248 laps. So it was the same, but today we did for that time. So really, chapeau. I actually congrats for all of these guys today. They did a good job today. So last lap for us is gonna be I know it's last lap. It's 5 races in the straight. We did 5 weeks in the straight. We did but our last lap is for next week. So after that we have one break. But this is good for the Stanley. Stanley have to finish these 2 races in front road because if he can finish on front road, he can go in to Nashville with a lot of advantage in the championship, and we are going to round 8 in Nashville, and then it's coming the Indy 500. No, there's coming another one. It's coming the Indy GP. That's good for Stanley. So he need to make these 2 good races to go to Nashville. Like, I'm gonna try my best. Like he did today. Actually, really good today.
Yeah.
And then coming to Indy GP, and then we're gonna close with 3 oval races. One of them is double points. On
2
the
of
end
them are
the
double
World Wide
points.
Technology. Oh yeah, Indianapolis also is double points.
Yeah.
So, really open for. It's gonna be a really good panorama for Stanley today. So he did a good job today, and yeah, next week is gonna be Barber, very tough, especially in this SS. When you go to the left and the right, it's really blind SS. So I'm gonna make practice, and they may have maybe some reports about that. So it's gonna be interesting how these guys manage about that. So Piñeiro have good things about Barber. He like it, so he wanna come back to strong on that time. So the championship is still open. We are round 5 today. Next one is 6. So it's gonna be interesting what happened to the end. So nothing more for me. So see you on Barber next week. 90 laps, 214 miles around the Barber.
And let's just real quick, Ethan Stanley, his driver stat line now with the win today. Just want to read that off for people, and we'll get on out of here. But Ethan gets win number 6 in the Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series here. In his 48 start, 21 top 5s, and 27 top 10. So keeps padding those stats there in the Blue Egg car. Well, that's going to be it for tonight. Once again, your podium for the Monster Mile 400K from Dover Motor Speedway is Adriano Pinheiro coming home 3rd. Leighton Norgard with his best career finish in 2nd. Ethan Stanley with his 2nd win this season and 1st on a non-super speedway oval. And first oval win in actually a couple seasons for him. He gets the big dub today. Join ERN again next week as we reach the halfway point of the season for round 6 of the 2025 Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series for the for the Alabama Indy Grand Prix from Barber Motorsports Park. For our 2nd of 4 road course events this season, coverage begins around 7:45 p.m. Eastern Time, again at 7:45 p.m. Eastern. And you can find everything right here at YouTube at youtube.com and just search keyword Elite Racing Network. Now, as you know, the YouTube algorithm game's not easy, so please help support ERN with the weekly grind. Leave a comment below. Let us know your thought of tonight's race. If you've enjoyed tonight's coverage, support us by smashing like in the video. If you're new, click subscribe. And while you had to hit the bell for weekly reminders so miss out on more of ERN's other iRacing programming, including the Juicy Spider Studios Elite Truck Series, Sundays at 8:30 p.m., and the Mark J. Revlis Grand National Series, Mondays at 7:30 p.m. You won't want to miss it. Make sure to ring that bell icon, and you'll be notified when they go live. The Elite Racing League's IndyCar Series naming rights are paid for by Warriors for Peace. Warriors for Peace is an Indianapolis-based nonprofit organization working to end violence and inspire peaceful change. Founded in memory of Jack Shockley, they support youth through scholarships, mentoring, and community programs. To learn more or to support their mission, visit their webpage at warriorsforpeace.org or follow one of their socials today. For all the links you need are in the description. I want to thank the Warriors for Peace for their continued support of this signature series in the Elite Racing League. A big thank you to the ERL's premier sponsors, Blue Egg Marketing and World Wide Technology Raceway. Don't spin your wheels. Accelerate success with Blue Egg. They won today, fueling small businesses to win big. To learn more about Blue Egg, go to blueeggmarketing.com or click on their link in the stream description. World Wide Technology Raceway is a premier motorsports facility located in Madison, Illinois, just minutes away from downtown St. Louis in the iconic Gateway Arch. To learn more about World Wide Technology Raceway or to buy tickets for one of their marquee events, check out www.raceway.com or click on their link in the stream description. For business inquiries to learn more about the Elite Racing League and what they do, visit EliteRacingLeague.com. Subscribe on YouTube, like us on Facebook, or follow us on X and Instagram. As always, links are in the description. So, for Luis Gonzalez Nunez, everyone here at ERN and the Warriors for Peace, I'm Gary Gotzo saying all, good night, and thanks for watching. To all our men and women serving in the military and as first responders, Godspeed, God bless, and come home safe. Catch us again right here next week at Barber for the next race of the Elite Racing League's Warriors for Peace IndyCar Series. Good night.